I know many might be confused or even anxious about the economy during these confusing times. Chad Horning from Everence Financial gave us some insight. Take a look. Well, I know many are confused as to what's going on in our economy. Many are feeling anxious or not quite sure what steps to take. Here to speak a little bit about your concerns and maybe how to help is Chad Horning from Everence Financial. Chad, how are you this morning?
Great. Good to see you.
Well, tell us a little bit about Everence Financial and the services that you provide.
Everence Financial is a financial services company that helps individuals integrate their faith and values into their investment decisions. And we have a wide range of products and services that we put out there to clients to help them navigate life's challenges.
Absolutely. And especially now, a lot of people are facing many different financial challenges, a lot of anxieties. So to compare to other instances in the past of an unpredictable market, is this a particularly bad time or are we being overly anxious?
One of the things that we do as financial advisors is to look to history to help us figure out where we are in the current situation. So I think about the last 30 plus years, we've had at least three big events that I would normally go to compare a situation. We had the Black Monday crash in 1987. We, of course, had the dot-com bust in 2000, 2001, and then the Great Recession just 11 years ago. These are our typical things to go look at when we're facing market disruptions. The one we're experiencing now feels even bigger than that, and so it's apt to go back to the Great Depression of the 1930s to just imagine what that felt like compared to what this feels like. There are a couple similarities, I would say. One is that this market sell-off happened very fast. In fact, the fastest ever. It took just 16 days for us to drop 20%, which is extraordinary, and that's what we often call a bear market. And also, I think the other thing is we're collectively experiencing this in a way that was similar to the Great Depression. We're all feeling the impact of this.
So what can individuals learn or take away from those past historical events?
One of the things I think we can learn is not necessarily the unique aspects of this experience relative to the other ones I mentioned. Every one of them has their own causes and contours. But what we can learn is how people behave when they're doing investments. And one of the ways that we behave is to watch other people and perhaps react in fear. And that's one of the things that I like to encourage people to resist if at all possible.
So what would you tell those individuals who are potentially scared about their investment portfolios during this time?
It's important for all of us to remember why we invest in the first place. For many of us, it's for retirement or for children's education, something like that, that's in the relatively distant future. And so keeping your objective in mind is really important, especially, again, when you're fearful and you're seeing other people react with fear. Remember what it is that you're investing for the first place. We should have known going into this that stocks were variable, that they can go up and down. We've been lulled to sleep recently in the last decade or so thinking that it's easy to invest and things only go up. Now we're experiencing the downside and reminding people again to keep that longer term perspective when they're making decisions.
So other than keeping that long-term perspective in mind, what should investors do during an unpredictable market?
Yeah. I think right now for many people, the most acute problems are the day-to-day. It's unemployment, or it's continuing to pay health insurance, or managing a budget. And for sure, if that's the situation that you find yourself in, that's where you should be focusing your attention. Using the programs that have been made available by states and the federal government to help you tide yourself over during this period of time. If at all possible, I would recommend against pulling money out of retirement accounts if you can help it, because that really disqualifies you from a positive retirement in the future if that's your goal. We are set up to avoid pain as humans. We avoid pain with twice the intensity that we enjoy pleasure. And so the tendency is for people to sell and be fearful rather than to think about the positives that they might be foregoing in the future.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned taking advantage of government resources during these unpredictable financial times. So what does the market fluctuations really mean for people and our viewers on their day-to-day financial planning and budgeting?
Right. Again, I would reiterate for most people, not acting in the market is probably the better solution for them.
Mm-hmm.
I realize that you might need to tap that money if you're finding that you can't find it other places. But the better place to focus is on what you can control. What you can control, perhaps, is your budget, looking for other resources for cash if you need it. And my encouragement is that markets have faced lots and lots of challenges over the years. Wars, other pandemics, terrorist attacks, and others, and they've ultimately recovered. Mm-hmm. We don't know the duration of this experience. We don't know the depth of it. But I think most of us believe that it's temporary. And my encouragement is to hang in there. Mm-hmm. And if all possible, don't dig into your retirement accounts just now.
Mm-hmm. Well, if individuals want to get connected with Everence Financial, how can we get more information, your website, and ways to connect?
Sure. If you have questions or you'd like to know how Everence is helping clients through this process, you can visit our website at www.everence.com.
All right, Chad, thank you so very much for sharing your perspective this morning.
Sure, it's my pleasure.